Ladies and gentlemen, Edge of Eternities has been out now for a few weeks, and I think it's time for a set review. Here's my thoughts on Edge of Eternities and why I think it's actually a steal right now at $380 a collector box. Let's jump right into it. Hey guys, thanks for joining. I'm the Nerdy Attorney. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, do everything you can to let the algorithm know you like this channel, you want to see more from it. It really helps a small channel like mine out more than you know. So I wanted to jump into Edge of Eternities. We've had the set for a little bit now. We've gotten to steep in it for some time and get a feel for the flavor, the power level, and the art. And I think Edge of Eternities is one of my favorite sets to come out probably since, I'd say, Bloomborough, when we're talking in-universe sets. I'm excited about the arts in this. I really enjoy opening it. I just recorded my second box battle. It's going to take a while to edit, so I wanted to make this video commenting because I want to talk about Edge of Eternities more. So I think at $380, given what's happening with collector boosters, this is probably still a good entry price to buy these boxes. In fact, I bought two of them in order to do that box battle, and one of them was then paid for by a friend, the other by me, and I'm very happy with how the boxes worked out. Hey, I'm going to let you finish, but I wanted to put in here a really cheesy advertisement for my new box battle coming out Monday morning. We got two Edge of Eternities collector boosters battling against each other in what is a heated, epic roller coaster ride of a fight. I wanted to have it be a really cheesy two-box, Too Furious, like action movie trailer with little excerpts from the video, but then I remembered I'm actually not that good at editing videos, and in order to figure that out would take way too long and probably be way too cringy, so instead, we're doing this voiceover. So don't forget, like, subscribe. If you want to see another box battle, you can check out my video here for the first box battle to get a flavor for what it's like. Another one is coming on Monday, and I think you'll have some fun just like I did making it. All right, let's get back to this Edge of Eternity set review, which is a direct reaction to that box battle because I had so much fun filming it, I just was compelled to talk about the set. Enjoy. I think there's a lot of value hidden in here that's going to age incredibly well. So I want to go back and use as a point of comparison, first and foremost, UnFinitiy. I opened a bunch of UnFinitiy when it came out. I really enjoyed the Galaxy foils, and even then, those Galaxy foil shocklands were not really at the top end price point for what modern Magic sets are getting now. They were $70 to $110, somewhere in there. To my mind at the time, those were gigantic hits, but now things have been recalibrated when you have boxes going over $1,000, not routinely, but becoming almost standard for a set that's aged for a little bit, that has valuable chase cards, and seems to get the market excited. As soon as we had, ironically enough, the announcement of Shocklands in the new sets for Edge of Eternities, we saw the Shocklands go up and the collector boxes go up at a commensurate level for UnFinitiy. I've never seen this before. It seemed very strange to me. Typically, when you're getting a reprint of a kind of land, it decreases the value of those lands. Shocklands specifically, we saw in Ravnica, when we had a lot of the Shocklands reprinted, the Shocklands just collapsed. In fact, it collapsed these boxes, all-time lows at $163 back in September of just last year. In less than a year, this box has doubled to $333, and people are buying it. It is a pretty popular product that people want to get their hands on, and ironically enough, I think it's because they might prefer the art for UnFinitiy for the Shocklands versus the Shocklands in Edge of Eternities. So let's take a look at those Shocklands. Here they are for comparison. You can see the Godless Shrine is the most expensive one here at a market price of $199, and it actually is selling at that. 21 total have sold, and a lot of them have happened very recently. It's incredible to see that while these were posted for some time, the price just basically doubled overnight. The last one sold for $249, and they're sitting at around $200 as people probably offload their old Galaxy foils. I think these arts were stunning. The planetary style, the look, the hollowed fountain, the color pops, especially with the gold playing off the orange and yellow gold here. It's just beautiful. And again, we saw a weird inverse pattern. This almost never happens. When a reprint of a favorite card archetype or card itself comes out, the only time they spike is when it's going to synergize nicely with a new card. But when you're reprinting the card itself, it should cause it to collapse. It should cause it to drop. And that didn't happen here. I mean, this was trading at $82 for purchases at just April and May. And then very shortly after the announcement of the Shocklands and Edge of Eternities and the Galaxy foils coming back, suddenly these got tons of attention. I don't know if it's going to last. I'm not sure if this hype can survive, and I really don't know why this has occurred. I think maybe the reason being is we have a lot of new collectors in the Magic space after Final Fantasy came out, and this might be the first time they're hearing of the Galaxy foils, and they thought, wow, I mean, these are real special. These might be like Surge foils and worth picking up. while they're at this price, because now the price target for some valuable chase cards and sets, especially from collector boosters and exclusively from collector boosters, has recalibrated. We're looking at $300 to $500 cards standard from these collector boosters. So I could see a new Magic the Gathering collector going, wow, these Galaxy foils at $90, at $120 are a steal. Let's gather them up now before the price is going to spike further as these boxes become more rare and rare to find. The only difficult thing is these are very difficult pulls from UnFinitiy. I can see why you'd want to just buy the card itself as opposed to trying to pull it from one of the collector booster boxes. Either way, you get a feel for the art, you get a feel for the style, the stomping grounds, breeding pool. I think these are more fun, they're more colorful when you directly compare them to the shock lands inside Edge of Eternities. As you can see here with the shock lands, I like the idea of them, I really do, but they're doing that Tarkir special treatment borderless with the blacked out bottom, which I'm a little bit hesitant about. I'm not sure I like a fully blacked out base as compared to a full art like we saw from the other Galaxy foils. But again, look at the price targets. I mean, a Watery Grave Galaxy foil is about the same as a retro foil from Ravnica Remastered. Yet this is a much more difficult pull to get, and the price is just dropping. Now, of course, that's what happens when a new set comes out. I'm not surprised at all to see this, but I am surprised to see that you pay triple to get the UnFinitiy version of it. And I think it's because maybe the colors pop more and it just provides a different vibe. Now, looking at these as a totality, seeing this kind of art as you're looking at a spacecraft landing on a new planet, the flavor is just chef's kiss. It's on point. It's gorgeous. I see the appeal. I mean, look at that. Stunning. I think the Godless Shrine looks awesome. It's going to look great in Galaxy foil. And then we also have Saussure in a Galaxy foil is only $32. So I think this is becoming a really good price point to pick up these cards. I'm not, of course, giving financial advice. It's cardboard. How could it be? This is just my observation now. In my opinion, I think these are pretty good pickups at this price. I mean, if you like this art and you want to get it in a borderless foil for one of the brand new mythic lands, look at this. The Eutheros Titanic God Core, which is basically a Tolarian Academy with extra steps, is $20 for a borderless. I mean, it really is incredible to see what the prices are doing with this, especially when now we have a price comparison of the Galaxy foils from UnFinitiy. But let's talk about this set generally. Let's do a summary of where we are with Edge of Eternities. I think they knocked it out of the park. Edge of Eternities as a universes within set is a home run. I love the flavor, I love the style. The power of some of these cards I think is just the right amount of power creep where it's not breaking formats, it's not changing the game dramatically, but it is giving you just a little bit more power and a little bit more oomph for your favorite decks. For example, Ice-Till Explorer is a really great example of, I think, controlled power creep. Landfall was something that was not getting a lot of love, and when done right, it can be devastating. I'm not going to underplay how powerful Landfall is to have played against you, but look, play an additional land on each of your turns. You may play a land from your graveyard, and whenever a land you control enters, mill a card. I mean, that right there is everything you want to see in a landfall deck. You're triggering your landfalls additionally. You're going to get extra lands on your turns, and you're going to be able to pull more of those cards from your graveyard because you're milling a card each turn. So it really does create a wonderful synergy. I mean, this is going to go inside my Hydra deck. It's a blue-green. It was basically based off of the Reap the Tides deck that came out a few years ago, and it was $19.99 when I bought it, and now it's surged to a ridiculously high price. I think it's over $100 now. But it's because it's a great deck. It works very well and it needs more finishers, but this will just speed up a landfall strategy. And then you have the introduction of crazy legendary artifact spacecrafts that can be your commander now. I mean, the price is not $42, by the way. It is dipped pretty dramatically to $10, but this is the sweet spot. This is a set that's not like Aether Drift. This is not where it's going to bottom out and keep bottoming and bottoming. I think we're going to see more drops over the next couple weeks, but the time to strike is probably going to be within that month or so window where you can pick up some of these cards at a pretty good discount. And I hate to say it, I think they have legs. I think these cards are going to stick around. I think that Edge of Eternities, especially based off of the buying patterns I've seen in my local game stores, it was very difficult to get 2 more boxes to do the box battle. It's just hard to keep them on the shelves, and eventually if I wanted to do another, I'd have to resort to TCG. Let's not forget, you have the Endstone, which I think is completely undervalued right now. The benefit of being able to, at the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes half your starting total. That's awesome. Say you want to play Bolas's Citadel. Say you want to play anything that requires life as a resource, and a lot of those black decks where you're just hitting yourself over and over again to cast spells for value using your life total. You can drain yourself down, and then at the beginning of your end step, gain back upwards of 19 more life to get you back up to that 20. It's a very powerful effect, not to mention it synergizes with life gain effects as well. Because your life gain went from a lower number to a higher number, it will also trigger a life gain trigger for you as well. So the Endstone is a card that I think is undervalued and has a lot of potential in many formats. There's just a lot of stuff like this throughout the set that I'm excited about. Thrumming Hive Pool, I can't believe this card is only $7 now. I mean, yes, it's niche, but just wait. The moment we have another set where there's going to be something Sliver-centric within it, Thrumming Hive Pool is going to do exactly what Sliver Hive did. When that land shot up with Commander Masters to $30, $40 out of nowhere. I mean, when you have a typal strategy card like this that is built specifically to boost a specific type of card, the moment we get some hype around that creature archetype, it's going to skyrocket. So I'm not saying you should buy this to make money. I'm not at all giving investment advice here. I'm just saying that Edge of Eternities has things in it that is going to age well in your collection, I think. I could totally be wrong here. Who knows where things are going to go? Do your own research, of course. But when looking at the set as a total, I think that $350 for a collector box feels nostalgic. Even though it should be $200, even though it should be $250, we can complain about the price changes and the way the targets have been moved underneath our feet. But at the end of the day, at least for a set like this, with a chance at amazing pulls, getting yourself some shock lands if you're new, this is a perfect entry-level set. Oh, I might just pick this up. You're telling me that I can get basically Pacific Rim on a Magic card with this Mutinous Massacre as we got Gypsy Danger here punching a kaiju in the face? I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play this card. It costs $7. I mean, I might go in Deadpool. Let's see what it does. Choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with mana value of the chosen quality. Then gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them. They gain haste. 0 is even? Oh, man. Wait, okay. I actually like this as a game ender. How much does it cost in foil? $8? $4? Oh my God, I'm going to buy one of these right now. Look, this is what Magic is about, guys. I think we have completely lost the plot. I know this is a bit more philosophical than I intended to go, but Magic is not just about money. It really isn't. As much as it's fun to track the markets, as much as I did that just here in this video, I love tracking the numbers. It's fun to see because it's a reflection of the interest in various sets by tracking the money that's getting put into it. But as I've said before, the money flows from one thing to another, and as hype changes, that money flows away or toward those areas of hype. So with Spider-Man coming out, I anticipate we're going to see even more money flooding from a Universes Within set like Edge of Eternities. So perhaps the time to strike is a month from now. Time in the market is better than trying to time the market. We know this. It's great advice, regardless of what market you're looking at. And at the end of the day, I think there are a lot of cards here that go to a lot of strategies that are going to age very well. And at the very least, you're not going to regret having them in your trade binder as you work on new decks, regardless of game you're going to be playing, whether it be Modern, Standard, Commander, of course. This spell can't be countered for Frenzied Baloff, Trample, Haste. Creature spells you control can't be countered. For 2 green, are you kidding me? Combat damage can't be prevented? For 2 green? And it's a 3/2? This is what I'm saying. We are supposed to play Magic the Gathering. Yes, it's fun to collect. Yes, some people want to use it as an investment vehicle, and I do think a lot of toxic behaviors from the Pokemon world seeped into Magic as a result of what happened with Final Fantasy. You can see that most acutely in cards like Sothura. It was $2,200. Let's look at the sale history here. Completely untested. We have 2 sales, one at $2,000, one at $1,900, and now they're listed as low as $17. This card is going to keep dropping because this is like what I talked about in my previous video about the lie of serialized cards. They'll get a couple sales upon release from whales who don't care and just want to add them to their collection, and then they sit with 1 to 3 to maybe sometimes 5 or 6 sales over a year. So when you go to TCG and you look up this card, you go, wow, that box has a chance of me getting a $2,000 card? No, they're not selling. This is the same thing happening with the showcase card. They're too expensive and they're not actually selling through the way you want to see. So it's a bit of a fugazi. It's a bit of an illusion. If you pull this card, yes, you might be able to flip it on eBay for $1,200 quickly, maybe $13, but you're not going to get that full value. And don't forget, you're going to have to pay a seller fee, shipping, different things like that that actually lower the money you get back. So the idea that if you pull this, you make this money is just not true. So what it comes down to is how well are these cards going to age as metas change and players look to buy them, especially when we're not in a set where you have a property like Final Fantasy making it collectible in and of itself. Magic the Gathering still looks at the power level of certain cards to see how well it's going to do in the future. I mean, for example, we have a Fracture Foil at $279 right here for the Starfield Vocalist. I mean, it has really cool art. I'm sure this is going to look great in person, and it's a pretty good card. You can see why people like it, and the warp effect is just busted like I talked about before. So at the end of the day, I think this set is a home run. I do think we're going to see the boxes retrace a little bit more, but honestly, at this point, I've been broken by Universes Beyond. I'm just excited to see a box at a quasi-reasonable rate of purchase, because the rate of return out of these boxes is not bad. There's a lot of good things you can hit here. Don't forget, when I'm looking at this, I'm also missing the Stellar Sights set as well, which is where a lot of the hidden value is in these Galaxy foils for the Stellar Sights. I mean, we have the Gemstone Caverns, which I was lucky enough to pull. We got the Ancient Tomb. Ooh, 770, 800. What happened? Did this get bought out? This got bought out. Holy crap, guys. Look at this. Now, look at that buyout. Oh my God. This just went ballistic. I can't believe it. Over the past 3-4 days, everyone was bought out. I bet you it was the same person. Or at least a group of people deliberately trying to buy this out. I wonder if these are going to sell. I think this price is too high. I think $800 for this Ancient Tomb is too much. Honestly, I don't even think it looks that good. The colors are a little monotone for me. And yes, it's an Ancient Tomb. I do love that there's no set symbol. I like that this is a timeless art treatment. But man, I think that's too much. Does that mean they're going to try and buy out this next? I wonder. This is the kind of shenanigans I'm talking about. I don't think out of a $400 box, an $800 Ancient Tomb, and frankly, that looks better in my opinion, is going to be sustainable. We'll watch this with interest. Breaking news, there was a buyout in Ancient Tomb. You heard it here first, folks. I'm stunned to see this. I don't know if this is going to stand up to the price value. Let's check. I'm very curious. If we go to eBay, let's check out on eBay to see if the Stellar Sights Galaxy Foil is holding up as well there. Look, they haven't gotten the news yet. This is $385 with 23 hours left. I'm curious to see how that goes through. Look, here's one right here, $345. I don't think eBay got the message yet that this went up so high. What does that mean for the regular foil Stellar Sights? Is $210 or best offer a good price for that? We'll go back and check. This is super interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see where this settles. I think there's a very real chance right now that on eBay, these are going to slip by and people are going to realize the value that they could get if it handles the $800 price tag. I think that's too much. I think that price tag is too high and it's not going to sustain. That is my estimation for what's going to happen here. Wow, let's check the regular foil version of this Ancient Tomb. If it's not Galaxy foiled. Yeah, okay, so eBay is way overpriced. The regular foil version of this is $135 right now, which I think makes more sense. It's a harder one to pull than the regular version. I think that makes sense. Again, I'm not crazy about that treatment. Call me nuts. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like that treatment? I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. This card is gorgeous, by the way. That is really nice. There's some incredible stuff in this set. There's just more things that reveal itself to you as you open it. Lots of look at this Swarm Yard. How cool is that? Wow, I love that. I'm tempted to get that for my Chatterfang deck. Although right now I have a squirrel-focused one, which is great. That is really cool. The Fracture foil of this one's $55. I bet you that's going to go down even lower. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold out for the Fracture foil. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let's not forget that Magic the Gathering is a game that's meant to be played. It's fun. I am not part of the game piece army. I think these things should be collectible, but I do not think every set is Final Fantasy, and we must remember that as we go through. So resist the FOMO. Spider-Man might be in a league of its own. My guess for Spider-Man is people are undervaluing how powerful Marvel's reputation is and Spider-Man's reputation is. And I think the conversion of people who like Spider-Man, especially with this renaissance Magic is having, there's going to be a lot of draw. There's going to be a lot of excitement, and I think it's going to be almost like Final Fantasy in the sense that it is a host unto itself. It's going to behave differently than universes within properties, there's no question. And Spider-Man is not just Spider-Man now. With the inclusion of the Soul Stone and other Marvel interconnected things, we are looking at the beginning of the Marvel universe in Magic. We don't know how far it's going to go. I would like to think we have 4 or 5 sets coming that will help dole out these stones and build up a story of Marvel within the Magic universe, but who knows? At the end of the day, we are seeing a little bit of the old Magic economy and sets that we have been pining for. So I'm a big believer that when we complain as a whole on the internet about how Magic has lost its identity, Magic has become just a Fortnitification of itself, it's too expensive, it's too crazy. Is $380 a collector box more than collector boxes were just a year ago? Yes. However, in the context of these new price points that Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, and now Spider-Man are setting for what a Magic product looks like, these are refreshingly average prices. I know that's a hot take. I know it's still expensive. I'm not acting like this is an easy purchase, but what I am saying is the hits make sense. There are still plenty of hits that hit you at the value of the box or more, and things like the Gemstone Caverns, let's see how they're selling through. Look, 25 of these have sold, and it's gotten all the way up to 433, as low as that. Look, you can buy the value of the box with just one of these pulls. It's nice to see there are big pulls within the box at that value. So if you're new to Magic, if you just came from Final Fantasy, my recommendation, not for you to actually purchase or go spend money, but is that if you're looking to get into other sets, this one does have a lot of things that I think are interesting. I think there's a lot of lands that are going to be ubiquitous in many decks that you're going to build for years to come, and I think the Galaxy foils are going to age well. Not in value. I'm not saying they're going to go up in value, although they likely will. What I'm saying is they look great. They are part of what might be the sunset of really good universes within sets, and is part of Magic's history now. The Galaxy foils have always carried a special space in Magic players' hearts, and I think they will continue to do so, and I'm really excited about how this set has turned out. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know below. Do you think I'm drinking the Kool-Aid? Is this actually a great set? Did it capture the vibes they were going for? I think so. Look at this Lotus Field. I mean, come on. Really inspired art, really cool styles. And in a way, these still kind of feel like Magic cards. Call me crazy. Even though I love the traditional styles, this still does feel like something that fits within Magic. And don't forget, Monday, I'm going to be releasing my second box battle, 2-box, 2 Furious. Make sure you stop by, check it out. Looking forward to seeing you then. Until next time, I'm the Nerdy Attorney. Thanks for stopping by. And don't forget, play some paper Magic with your friends and enjoy the ride. See you next time. Court is adjourned.